I will make you rich. Probably genuinely richer than like your wildest dreams are even at right now, like your wildest goals. I'll probably make you richer than what you're even dreaming of. And how will I do this, you may ask, very validly? Well, let me explain. I wrote a book. It's called The Quantum Wealth Frequency. This book, it's about breaking financial barriers and attracting unlimited abundance. And when I say unlimited, I mean like genuinely unlimited abundance. You will get absolutely, like, I'll get into it in a second, what the contents of the book are, but you will literally be able to be as rich as you want, like genuinely. So this is the complete system for transforming your income ceiling into unlimited prosperity. Just understand that. And the cover looks kind of nice. So let me first talk about like who this is really for. So the target audience I'm trying to speak to here is entrepreneurs and professionals earning already like 10K plus monthly, who've hit a ceiling despite implementing all the right strategies. So while this is for you guys, like I need you to understand why I'm targeting this audience specifically. And that is mainly because there are going to be certain limiting beliefs that you have already shed, like 100%. If you are at this kind of income level, you have already shed certain limiting beliefs, and it's just going to make this book resonate so much harder with you. That being said, though, like other things, of course, you've experienced, working harder, but seeing diminishing returns, knowing you're capable of more, but feeling stuck, like you have put in the work and yet you've like plateaued. So the frustrating thing about this for you is really that you might have invested in courses, hired coaches, implemented countless tactics, and yet, because despite all that, your income has not grown, not to the amount that you would have liked it to grow. So, as a side note for all of this, though, like this is who I'm really targeting for many reasons. But if you're not someone that is making 10K a month, like it doesn't matter. Like this is especially powerful for those, but as it says, like for those already experiencing some success, these principles, like they will genuinely benefit anyone reading this. It doesn't matter if you're Bill Gates, it doesn't matter if you're broke, like you will take things away from it. And I can't even really snap, like it's gonna be like that. Like it's gonna be very, very quickly that you're gonna notice a shift. Like for me, I just said, like I wrote this book literally yesterday, and guys, like you don't even understand to what extent this book shifted me and like how quickly. Of course, for me, I've put in work, like I was close to it, but guys, it was like after the first 10 pages. And this book, it has 228 pages, like it goes over everything. So what is everything? Everything is the complete framework, so we're gonna go about the 3-plane system for aligning physical, mental, and spiritual dimensions for maximum wealth attraction. What most books about money that you'll read fail to do, or like deliberately fail to do maybe, they will usually only give you one. Like they will tell you how to align one of those frames, maybe two. Maybe some even try to do 3-plane. Who knows? I don't know any of them, but most of the books you'll read about, they'll simply talk about the kind of actions you can be taking, for example. And I want you to understand, like I really want you to understand that this is not a money-making methods book. This is a money-making mechanics book. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's a money-making mechanics book. And this is why I'm so I hope, like I genuinely hope you can see that there's 0% fake in what I'm saying here. Like I believe every little bit about what I'm saying, and that's how it needs to be, guys. And on top of that, because as I said, like there are maybe books as well that don't do like, or not even books necessarily, but let's say TikTok affirmations. You've seen people on TikTok like, oh, I'm a millionaire, while they're in debt. Like if you're only, or like I am manifesting a Ferrari and they're not doing anything for it, like it doesn't work like that. Our experience is on 3. We'll get into that. Like honestly, we'll get into that, guys. There's going to be a whole lot of value in this video after I'm done selling the book. And by the way, I'm only selling it right now because you should fucking buy it. Like you should buy it. I'm not kidding around. Like you should buy it. So yeah, as a sorry, I went off on a little bit of a tangent, but there is, on top of all of this like framework, there are 16 practical protocols. Like I've not even done any of them, and yet I've already shifted, by the way. But maybe some of you that are not walking around with a lot of awareness through your life, for you it might take a little bit longer. For you, these protocols, they're gonna come in more handy. So I want you to see them as something really, really valuable. And I'm gonna be implementing those. I'm gonna be documenting the journey. I'll be implementing them one after the other, but these protocols are usually like 30-day protocols, and you can't really do more than one at a time, I don't think. So there's step-by-step implementation guides for every aspect of frequency alignment. So really, there is always going to be a tangible, actionable part to every section of the book. Just understand how powerful it is. And on top of that, to really hammer home every single point, there are going to be wealth case studies, like real world examples of people who've doubled or tripled their income through these exact principles in just a few months. And like that's literally like they've usually only taken advantage of a small fraction of what you can take from this book. I need you to understand that. And all of this has a scientific foundation. Like every single point that is being made has backed up research behind it. And that's what makes it so powerful, because a lot of the things you might have been taught spiritually or mentally, like especially spiritually, of course, they might not really be backed up, or like you have not seen the backup that has actually been done, like the research that has been done. You might have not seen it. So that's what makes it so powerful, because what are you going to do? Like you're going to read a stat that is actually, that combines a spiritual or whatever kind of theory and proves it, basically. What are you going to do? You can only believe it. And that's also that's the main reason why this book, it will literally make you rich. Man, fuck, my hands are a little bit sweaty. Like I can't snap properly. That's why it will literally transform you instantly. Like I'm not exaggerating here. Like very likely, at least. Like that's why I'm targeting, as I said, the 10K plus, because for you guys, there are not going to be these like incredibly limiting beliefs that someone who is completely broke might have. So, and on top of that, in a bit more I guess actionable step on top of that, there is a 30-day quantum wealth protocol. It just combines a lot of the good practices from the other protocols. So yeah, those are daily practices designed for immediate implementation and rapid results. And they're towards the end of the book, so I'll tell you also how you should read this book, by the way. But on top of that as well, we have like 5 assessment tools in there. So they're basically questions that you can ask yourself and then rate yourself from 1 to 10 and see like where you are at, where you're at right now. And just basically it will give you a very tangible way to look at where you might need to improve the most, or where you might have the opportunity to improve the most, I should say. So how much is this book gonna cost? Like I really hope you didn't think it was gonna be free. So for the first 100 people, it's gonna cost $88.88, which is a laugh. Like after you buy this book, you'll laugh at how fucking cheap it is. And the main reason why I make it this cheap is simply because I want people to, buy it quickly, understand the value, and basically have testimonials, like reviews, as quickly as possible. Like that's the main reason. And of course the number, 88, it's like if you're into numerology, it's like the number of infinite wealth. So if you believe in that stuff, it might just resonate with you even more. Like it's not personally my game, but whatever you believe has power. So if you do believe that it is a number, it might just resonate more and make all of this even more powerful for you. So no downside. And for the next 1,000 people, this is gonna cost $369. Another nice number. I like, it's like a Nikola Tesla number. I don't even know. I just know it's like a numbers of the universe, but it's a nice number. It's a good increase in price, and even that price, like you guys will see, it's a joke. Especially guys, if you are someone that is making 10K a month, again, this is why I'm targeting you, because you will have realized that spending money for knowledge is basically always worth, and you don't even realize how worth it's gonna be when you buy this book. Like you don't even realize it yet. So if you make 10K a month, and you might just double your monthly income in the next couple of weeks even, you know, how much profit is that for you? Like, you make 20K a month, you make that for a couple of months, whatever. You probably, reading this book, like, if you're really determined, you might just become a millionaire by the end of the year, you know. Like, I'm not even joking. So yeah, the next 10,000 people after that are gonna be for 888. Again, you know, don't need to explain the numbers again. It's just a nice little price increase, and that's the maximum amount of people I will allow to buy this book for now. You know, we'll see how it goes, like how long it takes. We'll see all of that. It doesn't really matter to me. And yeah, that means there's gonna be a maximum of 11,101 people in the community. Well, I kind of gave it away. What's on top of all of this, but yeah. So I really don't want you to see this, because I know you've been hurt. Like, I know there've been people that have done this bullshit fake scarcity, and what, like, this is not fake scarcity. This is real. Like, I hope you can see in my eyes, like, this is real. Like, this is not fake scarcity. This is just making you appreciate the value even more, basically. Like, this, the cause of all of this, and like, the more the price will go up, the more it will probably even help the people, by the way. Like, the 10,000 people that buy it, for them it might be even more powerful than for the first 100 people that bought it, you know, because we as humans, we are conditioned to value things more when they're more expensive. It's that simple. It's something subconscious you don't even have control over. So be happy that if you're able to buy it at a higher price even. And on top of that, I really, like, this statement might not make the most sense to you at this point in time, but see this as an energy exchange, not a transaction. You know, I'm not gonna go too much into it. Like, literally read the book if you want to know what that means exactly. But I think you might just get the gist of what I'm saying already, depending on where you are, of course. So to really make this offer a complete no-brainer for like every single person buying this, there is, of course, a guarantee, and on top of that, a community. So there is a 6-month implementation guarantee. So you have 6 months of time where you can just, you know, apply these principles. As I said, like, it literally might happen like this, very likely for a lot of you guys. But you can apply these principles for a full 6 months. And if at the end, like, for whatever reason, like, you could have made $1 million, genuinely, you can make $1 million with this book, with the information in this book. You can still give it back if you want. Like, I don't care, genuinely. So the bonus, of course, access to the private quantum wealth community. By the way, that name, it's up for, you know, if you guys find there's a better name, we might be able to change it. It's a community, so you have power over that. And we're gonna do that for collective field amplification. You don't know what that is because you haven't read the book. But yeah, collective field amplification is something you're going to learn about. But in simple terms, really what it is, you might have heard the saying, you are your 5 closest friends. And that's really, in a way, collective field amplification. You know, it's really just you taking in the frequencies of the people that surround you. They take your frequencies in, which just collects a more congruent frequency. It expands the field. And by the way, all of this stuff, as I said, it's scientifically proven. Like, there's quantum physics research on this, and the fact that all of this exists, like, when you get that in your head, it's gonna be crazy. Like, trust me, guys. It was for me. Like, that's why I'm so convinced. That's why I can literally speak with this kind of conviction in my voice, you know? And like, if you have lived on this planet, you know that this, like, none of this is fake. Like, this is not fake. Trust me, guys. And now we're just gonna, like, first of all, buy the book. If you haven't bought the book yet, I don't know what to tell you, like, other than buy the book. But now we're just gonna, you know, as a treat for you, since you have hopefully bought the book, oh, like, I know you have bought the book. Like, since you have bought the book, I'm gonna give you a little treat in the form of value. So why do most people stay stuck at 10 to 20K monthly? And when I say most people, like, I say most people that take action, you know. So, and that have the desire to get, like, wealthy, or like, just to get money, you know. So let me give you a funny stat for that. 67% of entrepreneurs hit a revenue plateau that persists for 12 plus months despite increased effort. So really, all that's happening for 2/3 of all the entrepreneurs out there is that they're burning themselves out. Like they're quite literally burning themselves out. This ceiling is not a strategy problem. You'll get more, like, stay with me here, guys. You'll get more of what the problem is, but it's not a strategy problem. It's a frequency misalignment, guys. It's a frequency misalignment. As I said, like I won't go too much in depth here because I will in a second. And just understand that you can't outwork your frequency. And yet that is what, there's a nice quote. I don't have it in my head fully. It's like, the error of the ages is trying to, no, it is, yeah. The error of the ages is trying to change an effect with an effect. So, what is the 33% problem? You need to understand that there are 3 planes of existence that we all are part of. So there's the physical plane, which is actions, strategies, visible, like the strategies and visible effort that's kind of applied to the wealth creation part of it, but just, matter. Like this glass here, this is in our physical plane. I'm in my physical plane. My physical body is here, basically. And actions as well, like picking up this glass, it's an action in the physical plane. And what's the mental plane? Those are, of course, the thing in your head, like your thoughts, beliefs, visualizations, and your identity. And the mental plane has a direct, like all of this stuff is combined, like of course, but of course the mental plane, it has an impact on the physical plane. You will know that, So after that, we have the true realm, or like the true plane of creation, which is the spiritual plane, which is the plane of energy, frequency, and consciousness. And the most powerful energy that each of us possesses is emotion. So really think about that. Like, your most powerful energy that you possess is emotion. And if all of these things are not aligned, we're not functioning at 100%. Most people, they're literally only leveraging 33% of their manifestation power. Literally only 33%. Because most people, like literally over 90% of people, they purely act out of the physical plane. Nothing else. Like, only the physical plane is where they take, like, maybe very, very little, they might take some very little actions in the mental plane, but it's not at 100%. And like, I doubt there's many humans on Earth that really are at 100%, but, that's the main problem. For most people, they only leverage 33. And like, so the example for the physical plane here would be people that literally just try to outwork everything. They just take action. They don't care about, like, they literally burn themselves out because they don't even care about their mental. They don't care if everything they're doing is aligned with them, with their like authentic needs and desires. So that is one plane. And then an example for the mental plane, that would be people that are that are just literally affirming things to them that are not true. Like they're closing their eyes, they're thinking to themselves, I'm a millionaire, while in their physical plane they're literally in debt. It doesn't work like that. Like, there's a whole chapter on how to do all of these techniques that you might have heard about, how to do them properly, like how to do them properly so that they actually work, because they do have merit, but most people teach them completely wrong. Like, you can't just say this, you need to gradually work it up. But like, I don't want to go off on too many tangents. Again, buy the book, you'll learn all of it in there. And then there's of course the spiritual plane, which is, as I said, the energy. So let's say like you do something and you don't like doing it. There's a certain energy that is being created. If it's something like, as I said, if you don't like doing it, that's automatically like misaligned in a certain way. So you're not leveraging that power that you could be in full alignment with what you're doing. Like right now, I'm in full alignment, and like it happened after I read the book. Like it started after 2 chapters. I knew exactly what I had to do, which is this. So there's a really good quote like from my friend Nero. It's manifestation is like, for you to understand what manifestation, because manifestation might be a word that you have negative connotations towards, because maybe you have heard of like these people that only act from the mental plane, and that's why you might dismiss when I say the word manifestation. So understand that true manifestation is internally shifting to a degree where you are no longer dependent upon seeing reality change. So let that sink in. Let that sink in. Understand that maybe at this point in time it might not make the most sense, but it will make sense. Trust me. So actually, a really big shout out to Nero. Love you, bro. Genuinely, you put me on this path. You really helped me get on this path. So I want to shout you out. Next, we have the perception projection cycle. This is really going to help you just understand this even more. All of this is going to build up to what you actually can. I'm going to even give you some actionable steps in the end. So the perception projection cycle. Our reality works like this. So you have your perception, and your perception creates a frequency that projects into your reality. And there's a really, this might sound woo-woo, this might sound crazy to you, but there are actual experiments. And again, all of this is also in the book, of course, but there's the double slit, the double slit experiment. It's very famous. You can Google it right now. It gives you a better understanding, gives you just the scientific research backing that, so you know that all of what I'm saying is true as well. Not just from me as a source, but from things that have actually been explored, basically. So your perception creates a frequency that projects into your reality. I'm also going to give you an example here in a situation in a second, so it makes sense, even more sense. So then you experience this projection as truth. And I highlighted the word experience here for the fact that every experience has an emotion attached to it. You understand? Every experience has an emotion attached to it, and that's why it does something. That's why it creates this belief. That's why it creates this truth for you. So this in turn reinforces your original perception, creating a cycle. And likely, or in many cases, it will be negative cycles. So let me give you a good example for this. So let me give you a money-making example of this. So maybe your perception is a very likely perception. If you're at around 10K only from physical action, it might be that getting new clients is really difficult. It might be you think you really need to show them your value. You need to fight for them to get them. That might be your perception. And since that is your perception, you will take actions that are aligned exactly to this perception, and you'll get a heightened sense of awareness for this kind of projection. This is like neuroscience stuff that's also in the book, of course. So you then experience this projection as truth, and it reinforces. So as I said, you might have the perception that it's difficult to get clients. So maybe then you're on the sales calls and it's actually a fight. Maybe the people are rude. You just don't connect with them, and this just reinforces the perception. So you might just tell your friends man, I hate working with people, or whatever the fuck. It might just reinforce your original perception. And another short worldly example that probably every single person on this planet has experienced is feeling attractive. There might be days where you feel attractive, and all of a sudden someone gives you a compliment, and then there might be days where you feel really unattractive, and there might just be things happening, experiences that reinforce this. So I think that should connect with pretty much everyone. So breaking the cycle is key to breaking your income ceiling. By the way, guys, I want you to understand that the things you're gonna learn in this book, they're targeted towards making more money, but you can apply these principles to everything. As I said, I just gave you an example with attraction, or feeling attractive. That is a cycle you can also break with these principles you're gonna learn in the book. So now I'm gonna hand deliver you your first conscious frequency shift. Likely, who knows, maybe you have done conscious frequency shifts before, but I am gonna give you one now. So understand that you have been shifting your frequency all the time. Whenever a belief shifted or whatever, all of this slightly shifts your frequency. Most 99%, 98% of people, for them it will happen completely subconscious. Like they don't have any awareness. Like if you've never meditated in your life, it's very unlikely that you will have awareness of this. So to give you your first conscious frequency shift, first, identify your current perception of your business or career. So how do you perceive it? Do you perceive it to be difficult? Do you perceive it to be, a struggle? It's difficult to make money. Like, is it maybe super easy? Like, do you love what you're doing? And then also ask yourself, like, do you think what you're doing is good? Like, do you think what you're doing is good? Or do you think what you're doing is bad? Because let me tell you something. So the next point here, like, notice how this perception makes you feel. So if it makes you feel good, let's say you have the perception of it's so difficult to get clients, and then you get these feelings that you get these feelings of worry, like of tightness in your chest, then that is your frequency. Like, it's that simple. You're literally at that point, you have identified that you are in a scarcity frequency. It's that simple. Like, and guys, this 5 steps to this. This is going first, awareness to things you can do. And awareness is always the first step to breaking out of anything. Remember that. So let me just give you the example. Let's say you are doing something that you're not really aligned to. Like, you don't like what you're doing for the fact that you think all the time in the back of your head, you think like, man, am I ripping people off? Like, and you actually feel like it, You're not just questioning it, but you're like, you really have this feeling that, man, what I'm doing is not good. It's not aligned with me. And that is a classic case of where your physical, mental, and spiritual planes, they're not aligned. And if you really want to experience basically infinite wealth, you need to align on all 3 planes. So the next step to really breaking out is to identify one perception someone at your desired income level would have. So going back to this example of someone that is making 10K a month, they might have the perception that they need to prove their value to their clients, to their customers. They need to prove their value at all costs to really make them show that they need them. So how would someone, let's say at 50K plus, what would be their perception? Their perception will be that they simply are showing their exceptional value to their prospective clients. It's that simple. Like, there will be no fear attached to it. When you have this perception that you need to prove the value, you will have so much fear. You don't even understand how big of a deal that is. So after you have identified, like, this was obviously one example, you are living your life yourself, you know more about your situations. Like, maybe you have people you do look up to, and you might even be able to just see how you might even be able to ask them, like literally ask them how their perception to something might be, and then embody this perception. Like, there's many ways you can embody things. Like, you can meditate on something, like really focus on it. And when you meditate, like, don't focus on like frantically saying the same things over and over again. No. Like, just feel. Like, you really need to try and feel how to do it. And if you really don't, if you've never meditated in your life, then you better buy this book. Like, you better buy this book. You will learn all of it. Like, you will learn every little detail there is to getting rich as fuck. Like, it's that simple. I don't know if you could see that. So, and after that, this is like the amazing part, honestly. You document new opportunities that appear within 7 days. So if we go back to the projection perception cycle, you are literally creating a positive feedback loop for yourself here. So let's say you have aligned, you have really embodied this 50K plus person. Then you might have gotten a new client, and it might have even felt very easy. And as soon as you write that down, like, that is tangible proof. Like, it doesn't matter how awakened you are. There's always going to be, like, the more you can prove something in the physical realm of our existence, the better it's going to be. Like, it's still 33% of everything. So if you can really prove that, like, nobody can take that away from you. Nobody. Sorry, man, guys. I hope you can see how excited I am about this, because You need to buy this book, guys. You need to buy this book. So yeah, just document the opportunities that appear, and in that, through that, you will literally create positive feedback loops for yourself, and now you have aligned yourself to a different frequency. It's that simple. So I really, like, I know you guys will get tremendous value just out of this. So just imagine what you can do with like 228 pages of this kind of information and more. Like, you don't even know. Like, so I was literally in shock. Like, I have experienced emotions I've never experienced when I read this book. It's so insane. It's so insane. And why I'm certain this works. Like, this is gonna be funny, guys. You're gonna laugh. Where's my phone? Where's my phone? Guys, you are gonna laugh when you see this. Really quick. I hope you've been listening. Like, you're gonna laugh when you see this. You can't see it. It's mirrored, but like, I have 500 euros to my name right now. 500 euros in this physical realm, but in my head, like, I'm literally a millionaire. There's no doubt. Like, I even told a friend of mine, she matters a lot to me. Like, I would never lie to her or anything. I literally told her today with a straight face, I am rich. Like, I'm going to be rich as fuck. And like, who of you sitting behind this screen right now is comfortable saying that to like a trusted individual in your life that you care about? Like, who of you can really say that? And I want you guys to understand as well, like, this is not, you know, that maybe you've heard on TikTok, like, Delulu is the Sululu. No, guys, like, I'm not being delusional here. Like, I'm not having these feelings, these emotions because I'm delusional. It's because I understand the mechanics. And like, because I know that you guys will understand the mechanics as well. And the amount of wealth that this book will create, like the amount, the piece of the pie that I get from this book's creation is going to be so small in comparison. Like, you don't even understand. It's literally, like, as soon as this book finds people the way it needs to find them, it's going to generate billions. Likely, like, literally, it's going to make a billionaire even, I would say, this book. Maybe it's going to be me. Who knows? So, yeah. And it's because I'm going to be implementing all of these exact principles myself. As I said, like, I wrote this book yesterday. I cannot implement a 30-day protocol in one day. So, by the way, I also want you to take something away. Like, you can see, like, this video is probably going to be uploaded like tomorrow. So that's 2 days after I wrote the book. You know, that's 2 fucking days. Like, you don't even know how much of an overthinker I was before this, and how I know how many people nowadays in this world are overthinker, like chronic overthinkers. Like, this is just like the proof of perfect alignment for me, because all of these things, you know, like the fact that I'm making a YouTube video, I just realized that. I just realized that I need to be making YouTube videos to sell this book, you know? Because before that, actually, I was making shitty videos on TikTok. Like, I was making slideshows to sell some really like mediocre ebook that I created, and I got a bunch of sales, and it did help me. Like, I now see it as a stepping stone to really show me that it's possible. Like, people buy stuff basically, and that really eased me in. And then I just created this absolute masterpiece. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna be implementing all of these exact principles myself. I already have implemented some of this stuff. So I have done some of the breathing things and whatever that are being shown in the book. But as I said, like, I read this whole book through from page 1 to 228. Like, I didn't even read the last 40 pages because I was so tired. I literally read for like 10 hours straight. And by the way, that's something I can recommend you guys to do as well. I think a good way, like, I don't know, maybe it's not the best way, but I think a good way to do might be to read the book through once, like completely read it through, maybe in one sitting, maybe in like whatever, like how much time you want to spend reading at once. But, you know, read it quite quickly through. Like, don't bother yourself with taking notes or doing any of the implementations unless you want to, of course. And then I think it's a book you should really work through. And it might just take a year. It might even take longer. Who knows? Like doing all of these protocols. I mean, there's 16 protocols. Each of them, I think, is 30 days. Some of them might be longer or shorter. I don't know. But around that time. So it's going to be even like 1.33 year at the minimum. Yeah, I'm not that good at math, but yeah, that's it. So it will just take time. And I think also, read it all, take it all in, get it into your subconscious. You will not be able to take it all in, but you will over time, and that's why you need to read it again after a time. Like maybe you read one chapter and then you implement it for a week, and then you even after that you go to the next chapter. That's how I think is going to be a healthy way, because your brain really can take, like, reading this book, I experienced emotions, like some of them were also something you could even experience as like fear or whatever. Like I understood the only reason I felt fear is because I had just never felt these emotions before, basically. So the most amazing thing, that's something that excites me the most about all of this, is that I'm going to be documenting this whole implementation process publicly. Like in a way, I'm not gonna like give you day in the life updates of everything I'm doing. No, but like you're gonna see through these videos. This is not gonna be the only video I'm gonna be making. Like I'll give a lot of the stuff in the book away. Like I'm not afraid. It's 228 pages, guys. Like I can give away game. It's no problem. You'll still buy the book, So I'll be documenting the entire implementation process publicly. And what's that gonna be? Like that's gonna be the ultimate case study. That's so good. Like I have 500 euros to my name, and I'm going to be implementing. Like when all of the books are sold at like the after the 888, it's going to be around 9.25 million before tax, of course. So definitely looking forward to that. So guys, thanks for watching. For those of you who recognize this opportunity, I'm looking forward to seeing you inside.